Okay, day 3 on the Orange River. I can't say I had a great sleep last night. I don't know what happened. I just felt very uncomfortable and just couldn't get to sleep. But aside from that, feeling good this morning. Muscles feel like they've recovered a little bit. And everyone's just having breakfast now, getting ready for an early start. We were up at like 5:30 this morning. We want to get ahead of any other groups that might be on the river and get the best campsite. So we someone's just picking up behind the mountain there as I'm speaking, and we should be on the river shortly. We're just finishing up the breakfast, packing the last things into the rafts, and we'll be off shortly.
We are halfway through our 4-day adventure on the Orange River, and we have an interesting day up ahead. This was probably the most diverse and difficult day of them all in terms of what we had to get through, at least from my perspective. The first few hours of the day would take us through a rocky section with quite a steep gradient, which meant fast flowing water and a few cool rapids. After that, everything opens up a bit and it's hard paddling to get to our campsite for the night. Our day started off with an injection of action as we went straight into the rapids, including Chambok, which was the biggest rapid of our trip. We went down single file, which gave me an opportunity to capture some footage. Man, it was fun. With the rapids mostly behind us and the river widening a bit, the hard slog began. With the lack of sleep from the night before and the hot sun beating down, I really started to struggle for the first time in the trip, and we didn't take too many breaks due to the fact that we really wanted to get ahead of everyone else on the river and book the best camping spot. So we had to just knuckle down and get to work. We did take one nice long swim break at a calm section with some beautiful mountains all around us, and this was really worth capturing on camera. There was one mountain called Table Mountain, not to be confused with the one in Cape Town, but beautiful nonetheless, and the closer we got to it, the more it grew. Just a massive, rocky Namibian monolith looking over into South Africa. I didn't film much for the next couple hours. I was starting to feel the effects of dehydration, but we finally arrived at our campsite, one of the most insanely beautiful places I'd ever seen. The guides called it Witches because of a big rock that looked like a witch's hat, and just mountains in all directions. It was crazy. Immediately the shade structures went up and it was time to cool off for the evening.
Right, well, we've arrived at camp on day 3, and guys, this is the most beautiful view I've ever seen. I can't believe that a place like this is not on like posters all over tourist websites about South Africa. I mean, just take a look at this. It's just so gorgeous. It's been an awesome trip. We still got one more day to go, but so thankful to be here.
That night for dinner, the guards cooked us spaghetti bolognese. It tasted like the best meal I'd ever had, Maybe because I was so hungry after throwing up the whole afternoon from dehydration, but if the meal was good, the vibe was even better. We sat around the fire in the cool of the evening, laughing together, watching the shadows fall over the valley, and eventually heading to bed after dessert. Last night on the river, bittersweet feeling, but a memory to savor for a long time. I slept under the stars and was one of the first people up as the sun began to light up the tips of the mountains. If I remember correctly, it was actually a troop of baboons fighting above us that woke me up, and soon we were all getting ready for breakfast and preparing for the long day ahead.
So our last morning here at the camp, home stretch. We've probably got about 3.5 to 4 hours of paddling ahead of us, but the wind has picked up, so we're paddling into the wind now, and the wind is being channeled through these mountains, so it's going to be tough. Apparently there aren't many rapids today, it's mostly flat stretch, so we're just kind of getting up pretty early, preparing ourselves, packing everything up, and having some breakfast, and we'll be off. Not long to go until we're done. This is the last night on the river, so well, I guess we're spending the night on the river at the base camp again, but this is our last night in the wild camping out on the river. So it's been fantastic. Past few days have gone smoothly, aside from some dehydration I had yesterday. I was out for a few hours, but yeah, it's almost done. Let's enjoy these last few moments, savor them, and just take in the experience.
We didn't leave quite as early as we wanted, but we were early enough to get some shade from the mountains around us, and we were going to need it because the next couple of hours were not easy. We were paddling downriver, but the headwind was blowing us backwards faster than the current was pulling us forwards, and these rafts aren't the most aerodynamic vessels. Day 4 would take us through the big mountains with the wind being channeled against us, and finally out towards some more open country and on towards our extraction point, a wine farm near Ossenkur in Namibia. I decided to take the front today. Nicole wanted to try the back, and she quickly decided that the back definitely wasn't for her.
You tired?
Yes.
Shame.
So dead.
Despite the difficulty of paddling into the wind, the views were breathtaking with the mountains towering right next to us. The sunlight shining through those jagged rocks was something to behold, and I don't think the camera quite does it justice. Eventually though, the landscape changed and we started to move into some faster flowing water.
So we've had quite a few swim breaks this morning, and the swim breaks are a real lifesaver, especially when you're on these flat straights, because the water's not flowing much. You really have to put in put in a lot of energy to keep moving. So it's also the wind was quite strong this morning, but it's calmed down a lot, which is great. We don't have to battle against the wind, so we kind of take it easy. I think we've made some good time, and we're probably not too far from the end. So keep going, almost done.
I'm no expert, but I think the end is in sight. I see a little town, which is something we haven't seen for days. And I think I see some boats on the edge there. So I have a feeling we've reached our end. 4 days of hard work and a lot of fun has come to an end, I think. And it's kind of bittersweet, you know, we've worked hard, paddled ourselves to pieces, arms are very sore, but also had a fantastic time. Definitely a trip of a lifetime. But let's not count our eggs too quickly. I think it's the end, but let's see.
My eyes did not deceive me. We were at the end. I'd say it was a relief, but deep down inside I wished I could sort of rewind the clock and do it all over again. Sometimes these strenuous adventures feel challenging at the time, but you never remember how tough it was when you look back. All you remember are the good things, and that's why it's all worth it. We hopped on a bus, drove about an hour back through the South African border, eventually arriving back at base camp and setting up for the night. It was New Year's Eve, so we had an awesome meal cooked for us, stuffed ourselves with food, and enjoyed the last evening of 2019 before our long journey home the next day. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I'm really glad I got to share this experience with you because it was definitely one of the highlights of my year, and I'll do my best to keep these videos coming. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you on the next one.